Have you ever wondered about the history of the croissant, that flaky, buttery delight that has become a breakfast staple worldwide? Each day, countless individuals savor the crispy exterior and tender interior of this iconic crescent-shaped pastry. It's a small piece of culinary bliss, a perfect accompaniment to a steaming cup of coffee, a leisurely brunch, or a quick on-the-go bite. But where did it come from? How did it rise to such global prominence? The croissant, in all its golden glory, carries a story that's as rich and layered as the pastry itself. It's a tale that spans continents and centuries, stirring up a mix of fact and fiction, innovation and tradition. From royal feasts to humble bakeries, it's been a symbol of elegance, a testament to the magic of simple ingredients, and an artistic expression of master bakers. Prepare to embark on a delicious journey through time as we unravel the origins of the croissant. Contrary to popular belief, the croissant didn't originate in France. Yes, you heard that right. This quintessential French pastry has roots elsewhere. Its earliest origins are linked to a humble Austrian bread, the Kipfel. Now let's step back in time to the late 17th century. Picture the city of Vienna, Austria. The city was under siege by the Ottoman Turks. The bakers of Vienna, working in the wee hours of the morning, heard the enemy tunneling under the city. They raised the alarm, and the city was saved from the surprise attack. In celebration of this victory, they baked their bread in the shape of a crescent moon, the symbol found on the Ottoman flag. This bread was named Kipfel. The Kipfel was a simple bread, modest and unpretentious. It was made from a basic dough shaped into a crescent and baked until golden brown. It was a symbol of victory, a tribute to the resilience of the city. Over time, the Kipfel evolved, taking on different forms and flavors, but it always retained its iconic crescent shape. Let's fast forward a century to the reign of Louis XVI, the French king, who himself was of Austrian descent. He was known to have a fondness for the Kipfel and introduced it to French cuisine. However, the French chefs, known for their culinary prowess, took this simple bread and transformed it into the flaky, buttery pastry we know and love today. They used a technique called laminating, where the dough is folded multiple times to create thin layers. This process is what gives the croissant its distinctive flaky texture. But here's the twist. The croissant, as we know it, didn't become popular in France until the late 19th century. It was the Parisian bakers who elevated this pastry to an art form, making it a staple of French breakfasts. So how did this Austrian pastry find its way to France? That's an intriguing tale, one filled with culinary innovations and royal preferences. But that's a story for the next scene. Stay tuned. The croissant journeyed to France thanks to an Austrian artillery officer, August Zang. This unlikely hero of pastry lore brought the humble Kipfel from his homeland to the dazzling city of Paris in the mid-19th century. Zang, however, was not just a military man. He was also an entrepreneur, and he opened a Viennese bakery in the heart of Paris. His bakery was unlike anything the Parisians had seen before. It was here that the French first tasted the buttery, flaky delight that was the Kipfel, the unique shape reminiscent of a crescent moon, and the delicate layers of pastry quickly captured the hearts of the French. The Kipfel was soon adopted and adapted by the French, evolving into what we now know as the croissant. The croissant's rise to fame in France wasn't just a matter of taste, though. It was also a testament to the French baker's artistry and skill. The process of making a croissant is labor-intensive, requiring a delicate balance of ingredients and technique. It involves layering butter and dough, then folding and rolling it multiple times to achieve the pastry's signature flaky texture. As the croissant became more popular, it began to take on a distinctly French identity. It became a staple in French bakeries and cafes, enjoyed with a cup of coffee as a quintessential French breakfast. It was no longer just a Viennese import, but a symbol of French culinary prowess. Over time, the croissant has become more than just a pastry in France. It's a cultural icon, a symbol of the country's rich history and culinary tradition. It's a part of the French way of life, enjoyed not just for its taste, but for what it represents. Whether it's a simple, buttery croissant enjoyed on a quiet morning, or a luxurious pain au chocolat savored as a treat, the croissant holds a special place in the hearts of the French. And from France, the croissant began to conquer the world. the croissant continued its culinary journey, crossing borders and oceans. It ventured far and wide, from the bustling streets of New York to the vibrant markets of Tokyo, from the quaint cafes of Melbourne to the picturesque bakeries of Buenos Aires. The croissant, a humble pastry, became a global sensation. It's fascinating to see how the croissant adapted to the unique tastes and preferences of different cultures. In the United States, for instance, the croissant took a sweet turn. Americans introduced variations such as the almond croissant, generously filled with almond cream and topped with a dusting of powdered sugar. Or the chocolate croissant, known as pain au chocolat in France, but supersized in the American fashion. Travel to Italy and you'll find the cornetto, a cousin of the croissant. It's softer and sweeter, often filled with jam, cream, or even Nutella. In Germany, the croissant is sometimes filled with marzipan or even turned into a sandwich with ham and cheese, delightfully blurring the lines between sweet and savory. Meanwhile, in Japan, the croissant has been miniaturized. Japanese bakers have perfected the mini croissant, creating bite-sized pastries that are as delightful to look at as they are to eat. They've also introduced matcha and red bean fillings, incorporating traditional Japanese flavors. In Mexico, you'll find the cuernito, a smaller, denser version of the croissant, often enjoyed with a cup of hot chocolate. And in Turkey, the koreji, a croissant-like pastry, is a breakfast favorite, typically filled with chocolate, tahini, or even olives. These variations are a testament to the universal appeal of the croissant. Its flaky, buttery goodness has been embraced by cultures around the world, each adding their unique twist, yet all staying true to the essence of this delightful pastry. From a simple Austrian pastry to a symbol of French gastronomy, the croissant has indeed come a long way. But what makes a croissant so special? The secret lies in its making. Let's delve into the world of pastry artistry. The journey of a croissant from a lump of dough to a flaky golden crescent is nothing short of magical. It all starts with a simple dough. Flour, water, salt, and a touch of sugar are combined to create a smooth, elastic dough. But this dough is only the humble beginning of our croissant story. The dough then embarks on a process known as laminating, where it is folded with thin sheets of butter, layer upon layer. This process is far from easy. It requires patience, precision, and a deft hand. The temperature needs to be just right. Too warm and the butter will melt. Too cold and the dough will not fold properly. The dough is then left to rest, allowing the butter to permeate every layer. Next, the dough is rolled out and cut into triangles. Each triangle is then carefully rolled, starting from the base, all the way to the tip, forming the classic croissant shape. The croissants are then left to proof, a process where they are allowed to rise and expand before being brushed with an egg wash to give them that glossy golden finish. Finally, it's time for the oven. The heat of the oven causes the water in the butter to evaporate, creating steam that lifts the layers of dough, resulting in the croissant's signature flaky texture. The butter also caramelizes, giving the croissant its rich golden color and delectable taste. So the secret of the croissant is not just in the ingredients, but in the meticulous method by which it's made. Each layer, each fold, each rise in the oven is a testament to the artistry and craftsmanship that goes into making this heavenly pastry. So next time you enjoy a croissant, remember the artistry and history that goes into each bite. The croissant, a simple pastry with a complex history, this golden crescent-shaped delight, so emblematic of French gastronomy, has taken us on quite a journey today, from its humble beginnings in the Ottoman Empire, where bakers first dreamt up this unique pastry, to its grand entrance into French culture and the hearts of food lovers worldwide. We've traced the croissant's path as it crossed borders and oceans, transforming breakfast tables and coffee shops in every corner of the globe. We've delved into the intricate process of creating a croissant, a labor of love that involves patience, precision, and more than a little bit of butter. So the next time you find yourself tearing into a warm, flaky croissant, remember the rich history baked into each layer. Savor the complexity behind its seemingly simple form. Next time you take a bite of a croissant, savor not just its flaky, buttery goodness, but also the centuries of history folded within.